before he was murdered, Fall complained to authorities about his neighbor, software security pioneer John Mcafee.
The FBI is going to be looking for me if you don't call him, sir. The FBI?
This is John Mcafee. Drug lord, billionaire, hacker, and he was also the president at one point.
Another candidate threw their hat into the presidential ring. John Mcafee entered the White House race as a libertarian.
This guy's fucking crazy. I'm gonna show you the wildest moments of his life from start to finish. And don't worry, we're gonna skip all the boring parts.
Chain pistol ordered on the internet. $80.
John was born in the UK in the mid-1940s, later moving to Virginia in America. When he was 15, his father killed himself. A fact he says he wakes up with every day. John later alleged on camera that he might have shot and killed his own father, staging the scene to look like a suicide. To this day, nobody can say for sure. At age 23, he worked at NASA while abusing drugs and alcohol.
John Mcafee was a guy who worked for fucking NASA before he fucking lost his mind. He ran for president after being a fucking alleged murderer.
It's insane.
It wasn't till 1983 that he finally got sober, then released the world's first ever successful antivirus.
Hello, baby. Want a kiss?
It was so popular that he was making $5 million a year, and the biggest companies in the world were all using it. There was one problem though. Nobody could uninstall John's software.
I still get volumes of mail asking, how do I uninstall this software? I have no idea.
John?
Huh? Yes.
Does that sound about right?
I know what to do. I know exactly what to do. Believe me, I've got a fucking solution right here.
2 years later, he sold the company for $100 million. It's still named after him to this day. You might even have it on your computer. After selling his company, he started lecturing professionally at Stanford's most prestigious schools. But little did John's students know, he was about to begin his master plan. In the late 2000s, John decided to sell all of his land and move to Belize. He told the media he wanted to go into the world of medicine. He believed that with the help of a microbiologist, he could build a product that used plants to combat illnesses. Or that's what he told her. But as time went on, Alison started to notice John might have different plans.
Walt, please just hear me out, please.
In 2008, Breaking Bad released on TV. It's a TV series about a regular guy turning into a drug dealer and selling meth. It was also the exact same year that John moved to Belize with his chemist.
Man, some straight like you, giant stick up his ass, all of a sudden at age, 60, he's just gonna break bad?
I'm 50.
It's weird, is all, okay?
He purchased a second property in the interior of the country and moved deep in the jungle to a place called Orange Walk, where he had set up a lab.
I thought, wow, this is a dream come true.
Alison Adonisio was a Harvard-trained microbiologist he brought into the jungle. But she says the enterprise fell apart when her benefactor started to become unhinged.
He became very paranoid. He was talking about taking over the country. I started to think, this guy is a madman.
John started making close connections with members of the island, later giving a considerable amount of donations to the police.
Mcafee says he was helping the locals, feeding poor families and providing many with jobs.
I employed half of the town. I can show you a letter from the mayor saying that Mr. McAfee's done more for Orange Walk than any of our citizens have.
But exactly what was he doing for those citizens? McAfee admits he brought in young women to be in his harem.
How many girlfriends did he have?
At least 5 or 6 girls.
I do have teenage girlfriends, and many at a time.
But John wasn't just getting friendly with the police. He was also teaming up with some of the world's most dangerous drug cartels. Allison was starting to get scared. You see, John didn't actually want to start a medicine company and heal sick people. He wanted to start a meth cartel and take over the entire island. And that's literally what he did. He had over 30 armed bodyguards watching his back. And it might not have seemed like it, but John was a super genius who worked at NASA.
Things came very easy for McAfee.
Right, he said making money for him was so easy that he didn't have any real appreciation for material items.
No, he didn't care about anything. He had a 2,500-year-old Buddha statue in his house that I almost knocked over. Like, I didn't know, it was just sitting there, and I almost knocked over. It was in his garage. And he goes, "Hey, you almost knocked down my statue." He goes, "We're going though, we're leaving." And we literally left that statue in a garage.
But having bodyguards wasn't enough. John had multiple undercover hitmen with criminal records all over the island. I'm literally not making this up. Not to mention he had 12 attack dogs patrolling the beaches. This was a public island, by the way. It was also a tourist spot with multiple visitors from other countries, including America. And one of those visitors had had enough with John and his dogs. But this was about to be the worst decision of his entire life.
John's dogs ran on the beach, and they were really ferocious. Greg Fall had it with those dogs and said, "I'm going to poison those dogs." Mr. Fall was found dead. He had been executed.
In 2012, John was considered a person of interest when his neighbor Gregory Falls was shot to death near his home. John told his hitmen he needed them to get him off the island, alive. So they shoved him on a boat to Guatemala. John was arrested. This was probably because while police were actively searching for him, he'd agreed to film a documentary with Vice, and he'd flown out 2 reporters to his exact location. So the Guatemalan police caught up to John, arresting him. They'd got him. He was trapped in a Guatemalan jail cell. But little did they know, he had a master plan. John faked 2 heart attacks, scaring the shit out of the guards, and eventually convincing the police to send him back to America for medical help. And his plan actually worked. Like, completely. And he served 0 jail time in America. And they just let him walk free. Everything was looking great for John, and he just wanted to put his drug life behind him. But his past hadn't escaped him just yet, because without him knowing, the Mexican cartel had put a bounty on his head.
The Sinaloa cartel is trying to kill me. The largest cartel in the world, the most powerful and richest organization on the planet.
John?
Yeah.
We've had a visitor.
He's standing right here. You can see where the leaves are totally gone.
A wheel turned right here into the mud.
But we need to get some fucking traps up here. You think Jimmy could get us some firecracker that we could remotely detonate?
Yeah.
John Poole, my bodyguard. Probably the scariest motherfucker I know.
In 2012, John married a prostitute who was hired by a cartel to assassinate him. She was supposed to poison him, but she fell in love and told him the cartel's plans. John was pretty much untouchable. Billionaire, drug lord, John had done it all. But it wasn't enough, because now he needed something even bigger. In 2016, John ran for president, but his reputation wasn't looking so good. Midway through his campaign, he admitted to having sex with whales. Even still, John felt pretty confident about him winning. He lost. John ran again for president in 2020, where he said on live TV if Bitcoin didn't hit 1 million, he'd eat his dick. John's campaign was suspended very soon afterwards, for obvious reasons, but also because of numerous federal tax evasion charges. He'd lost the presidency twice now, but it didn't matter, because if they wouldn't let him inside the government legally, he'd break inside of it illegally with force.
So I'm going to tell the world exactly how we do this. Now, I'll probably lose my admission to the world hackers community. However, I'm going to tell you.
In 2017, John hacked into the entire US government's security systems.
After they had raided my property, shot my dog, abused me, destroyed $500,000 worth of my property over a bogus charge, I was pissed off. And so I donated to many secretaries within the government laptop computers, really nice ones, that were preloaded with viral spyware. Within a week, the entire government computer system was under my control. I was looking for information that they had set me up for that raid. I didn't find that. I did find out that the Minister of National Defense was the largest drug trafficker in all of Central America. And the Minister of Immigration, the largest human trafficker.
We don't want to get killed by them either, so we're probably not going to
That's fine, that's fine.
This might have been the worst decision of John's life though, because for once, he'd finally bit off more than he could chew.
I had friends in the U.S. Embassy in Belize. I knew what was coming down. I'm not stupid. He said, sir, we have it from the highest authority. We are not to allow you entry into the U.S. Embassy. Understand me. Who was the highest authority of the State Department? Hillary Clinton.
Are you having fun, sir?
I am, sir.
You realize that heavy people are after us, are they not?
Yes, sir.
Are you afraid?
No, sir.
Good man. And you know what? Neither am I, and neither are any of us. But you, America, you should be afraid. Be very afraid.
Right on the verge of exposing something big, John was found dead in a prison cell in Barcelona due to an alleged suicide. John's last words to his wife, Janice, before his death were, "I love you, and I'll call you in the evening." Suicide or murder, we may never know, but even today, the memory of John McAfee still lives on.